To begin, perform the appropriate surface preparation procedures. Identify any weld seams, voids, dents, cracks, or other uneven or rough areas and need a putty to create a smooth wrapping surface. For a clean application of all epoxy coatings, we recommend placing painter's tape directly outside either end of the repair area. Open both Part A and Part B of the FRP repair putty. Scrape and add all of Part A into the Part B container and mix for 2 minutes. Take one of the provided paint sticks and scrape the sides of the Part B container and the mixing drill to the best of your ability. The putty is very thick, so it may take longer to scrape the sides. After scraping all of the material off the sides of the container and from the paint stick, mix for another 2 to 3 minutes. Using the provided putty applicator or trowel and a palette, take enough repair putty to be able to fill the repair area and smooth the repair putty over the circumference of the pipe. Using the putty applicator, apply the putty to the previously identified repair area. It is best to build the putty up in smaller increments rather than applying too much putty at one time. Adding too much putty can lead to air pockets between the putty and the substrate and can also create an uneven wrapping surface. Allow to cure for 30 minutes before applying Saturant as a primer. Open both Part A and Part B of the FRP 211 HT Saturant. Pour all of Part A into the Part B container and mix for 2 minutes. Take one of the provided paint sticks and scrape the sides of the Part B container to the best of your ability. After scraping all material off the sides of the container and from the paint stick, mix for another 2 to 3 minutes. Apply FRP 211 HT Saturant to repair area at 5 to 10 mils thick using the prepped roller, while avoiding drips, sags, or holidays. Be sure to check the entire circumference of the pipe for an even application. If FRP repair putty was applied previously and is still wet to the touch, we recommend avoiding pushing down on the roller or disturbing the repair putty by pushing it around. We recommend all saturation activities be performed on a table or other flat surface that has been prepped for saturation. The surface should be clean of dirt or debris. Make sure you are using an HDPE table or plastic sheeting over other types of surfaces. This will ensure a smooth saturation process. Remove CF500BD from the packaging and gently remove the application roller from inside the CF500BD. Set the carbon fiber roll and the application roller safely aside. Pour a small amount of Saturant directly onto the table or flat surface that has been prepped for saturation. Using the provided trowel applicator, spread the Saturant evenly over the portion of the table where you will be saturating the carbon fiber. This will provide a sticky, saturated surface so that the carbon fiber will not slide and can be saturated on the backside as well. Roll out the carbon fiber to a comfortable length and pour out the Saturant directly onto the carbon fiber. Using a trowel applicator, spread the Saturant evenly over the surface of the carbon fiber, ensuring that the entire surface area is covered, leaving no exposed dry spots. Apply light pressure and push the Saturant into the carbon fiber threads in a smooth up and down motion. Remove the excess Saturant from the carbon fiber by scraping it off and tapping it onto the table. When this first section of carbon fiber has been properly saturated, take the application roller and begin carefully rolling up the saturated carbon fiber. Gently remove any loose fibers from the edge. Continue to roll until you reach an unsaturated section. As you roll the carbon fiber, make sure to keep an eye on any excess Saturant that may pull together, as it needs to be removed. You should also try to keep the edges as straight as possible. This will ease the application process. Set aside rolled up carbon fiber and begin the process of spreading the Saturant evenly onto the surface of the table again. Roll out a new section of unsaturated carbon fiber and repeat the saturation process until the entire roll of carbon fiber has been saturated. Depending on the size of your repair, you may need to mix the second kit of FRP 211 HT Saturant to continue saturating the fabric. Follow the same mixing procedures as before. Make sure to mix for 2 minutes, pausing to scrape the sides of the Part B container, and then mix for another 2 to 3 minutes. Immediately after saturation, install the piece of carbon fiber labeled CF500BD over the designated pipe repair area. If possible, ensure that the pipe defect being repaired is centered on the wrap. We recommend 2 people apply the saturated carbon fiber. Starting at the 12 o'clock position, wrap the saturated CF500BD around the pipe, pulling the fabric tight on each pass. Ensure that the edges of the wrap are lined up with each other. As you wrap, use your hands to massage the fabric against the pipe to remove air bubbles and ensure that the fabric lays flat against the pipe. Open both Part A and Part B of the HP300 epoxy. Pour all of Part A into the Part B container and mix for 2 minutes. Take the paint stick and scrape all sides of the Part B container to the best of your ability. After scraping all material off the sides of the container and from the paint stick, mix for another 2 to 3 minutes. Prepare the paint tray and roller with 3/8 inch nap. Apply the HP300 epoxy top coat to the repair area at 10 to 20 mils thick using a roller. Be careful to avoid drips, sags, or holidays. Make sure the entire circumference of the pipe has an even application. The top coat should extend 1 inch past the CF500BD on both sides and onto the previously applied blue tape, if applied. Remove the blue tape before the top coat cures to ensure clean lines if applied. Remember, spot repairs on pipelines are often an indication of systemic corrosion. Talk to an expert at Advanced FRP Systems to see how we can help repair systemic corrosion before leaks occur.